Can you really detox your body? Isn't that what the body's really just supposed to do? In today's episode of the Non-Toxic Mommy podcast, we're diving into even more ways you can detox your body. Detoxing, it's such a necessary thing in the modern world that we live in. We are exposed to so much, and there is so much that is truly out of our control as far as the exposures that we have. And at the end of the day, avoiding toxins is one strategy. It's one part of the strategy. But another piece of the puzzle is really supporting the body in its own natural abilities to eliminate the unwanted chemicals and waste from our bodies. And if we're not able to do that, then that's when things get backed up. That's when we start to have issues or we feel sluggish. And we don't want that. So I think that detoxing is a really important part of a healthy lifestyle. And it doesn't have to be something extreme. It can actually just be, part of your daily living, things that you do daily or weekly that just support your own body's abilities to clear these things, clear them from your system. Okay, so let's dive in. Last week we talked about 8 ways to detox. This is the rest of the list. So there were just too many to fit into one episode. So I really wanted to dive into these and give each of them the time that they deserve. So the first one is castor oil packs. Have you been seeing people all over social media talking about castor oil packs? I can't believe how popular this has become, but I have to say I am a huge fan of using castor oil. I've always used it in the past. It's something I've known about for a long time, kind of before it became trendy. And the thing with castor oil is that it really, really is an effective, all-natural tool for supporting the liver, for supporting thyroid health. Like, it can do so much. Before you go and slather your body in castor oil, though, just know that it doesn't work necessarily for everyone. Some people, find that it can exacerbate some of their issues. For me personally, I try to do it all the time. I mean, I always fall asleep before I remember to put it on, but I try to do it as often as I can. And I just find that a little bit on top of the liver helps me lose weight, helps me feel better, helps me feel healthier, and helps me sleep so much better. That's just me. But I know that there are a lot of amazing testimonials to the power of castor oil. Make sure to get it from a good brand. Make sure it is cold pressed and organic, preferably. And give it a try. See if it works for you. You don't want to do this if you're pregnant or if you're breastfeeding. You never want to detox if you're pregnant or breastfeeding or you think you might be pregnant. But otherwise, in the absence of those two situations, castor oil could be a really good thing. Like I said, it doesn't work for everyone, but for the people that it works for, I think that it really does support a detox, clean lifestyle. So I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite things to do. And honestly, it feels like a really quick and easy thing that I can do that helps. The one thing I haven't tried, you may want to try this if you already have a sauna habit, and that's something we talked about in the last episode. If you already have a sauna habit, you might want to try combining the two. I don't know, I haven't tried it, but it's something I want to do, which is go ahead and go into the sauna, really open up my pores, get rid of whatever's, lingering in my body that day, and then apply some castor oil on top of it, probably after a shower. But I think combining the two could be really good. You could even probably start with the castor oil and have it on in the sauna. I am not sure. It's one of those things I would have to experiment with, and I don't really know if there's a protocol for this yet or not, but those could be a good and powerful combination. Okay, let's talk about number 2 here, which is fasting. So there's many different kinds of fasting protocols. And I think a lot of times when people think about detoxing, the first thing that comes to mind is some kind of fast, right? Like a juice fast or a water fast or like that cayenne pepper lemonade, There's a lot of different ways to fast, even intermittent fasting. I think that fasting is a very powerful tool. It's not something I would do regularly, but it can be a very powerful tool to use when the body's in crisis, or, before it gets to that point as a preventative. If you have, I think, the self-discipline to do it, it can be very, very powerful. I don't have strong opinions on how to do a fast. I think that there's just many different ways to do it. I think the best way is to find something that works for you that you can stick with. I have done juice fasts in the past, and I have to say, they're hard. Now, I was younger. This was like pre-non-toxic mom. This was like during my Taco Bell days. So it was really hard for me to do a juice fast. I did a 3-day juice fast one time, and I just remember I would smell things, like I would smell foods and I would just go crazy. It was really nutty. The things you do on a juice fast. I would smell a lemon, and I was just so overtaken by the amazing smell of the lemon, and I just couldn't wait to have citrus again. It's very funny when I think back on it. But the idea here is that you want to find something that works for you. You want it to be a good time in your life. Obviously, you can't do this when you're pregnant or breastfeeding, but there is a time in your life in between babies or something like that where maybe you can do a 3-day juice fast. I know people that have done water fasts for several days. And really the cool thing about fasting is that it shuts down digestion, and it gives your body and your cells energy to focus on healing and on other things. So it's kind of a cool way to biohack. If you do it, I think more power to you. I haven't done one in a long time. I don't know if I could fit one in right now in such a busy like mom lifestyle, but I would love to try it. So I don't know. If you think fasting is for you, give it a try. Okay, number 3. This is kind of an easy one. This is something that you can just implement, add it to your daily life, right? It's not very hard. Number 3 is to eat lots of fiber and foods that help detox you. So those are apples, grapefruit, broccoli, and other cruciferous vegetables like cauliflower. Ghee. Ghee is actually really amazing for detoxing. Ghee, do you know what it is? It's clarified, is it clarified butter? Chia seeds, and then fermented foods like kefir, sauerkraut, or kombucha, ginger, garlic, artichokes, amazing for your microbiome. Beets, carrots. Okay, this is a little side note. I learned this when I was on somebody else's podcast. Did you know that eating a raw carrot a day, a single raw carrot a day, can help balance your hormones? It's specifically good for estrogen, and I actually think this is one of the reasons that, like, carrot juice is really recommended in cancer healing circles. So have a raw carrot every single day. Okay, number 4 is, this is one I'm really excited to share. This is something I'm passionate about because I don't think it gets talked about often enough. And it's like so obvious. And that brings us to today's segment of Loving Lately, where I share with you 3 things that I have been loving lately. So today's kind of the detox edition. I did share on episode 11 a few other detox related products, and a special offer from PBX, the zeolite spray that I like to use. I will also put that in the show notes. But Detox Edition Part 2, I have a couple of good products that I think you will also like. The first one is the All Natural Magnesium Cream from Rocasa Organics. So this is a really, really good and gentle magnesium cream. I love to use this before bed, and it just makes me feel really good. Let's see, it has shea butter, safflower oil, magnesium oil, and then a few essential oils. And I think I've talked about this on the show before. It smells like a day spa. It has a kind of subtle smell, so it's really nice, and I love the way that it feels on my skin. Another thing that I like to do while we're on the topic of magnesium, I didn't really talk too much about magnesium as far as a detox-related supplement, but it is a great one, and it's just so essential for so many functions in the body. I find that as someone with MTHFR, the genetic variation, I need my magnesium in a topical form. So I love to use our Biomology magnesium spray. This is the 2 ounce. I have this in my gym bag. I use this before bed. I absolutely love it. Highly recommend a topical magnesium. I use it for everyone in the family. And then again, related to detoxing, sleep is so important. I mentioned this in episode 11, which is part 1 of the Detox Lifestyle Habits. And this is a cool product. This is the Deep Sleep Salve from Rocasa. And this is kind of similar to the magnesium oil, but it actually doesn't contain magnesium. It's just shea butter, coconut oil, beeswax, and then 3 amazing essential oils. Those are lavender, cedarwood, and Roman chamomile. This would also make a great eczema salve, I'm just saying. But as far as detoxing and just kind of supporting a healthy wellness habit, it smells so good. The Deep Sleep salve from Rocasa would be a great thing to add to your routine on those nights where you aren't having trouble sleeping or something like that. I know that whenever, when my kids were little and they were still waking up in the middle of the night, some nights I would just have trouble sleeping while my sleep was always interrupted. I would use a lot of lavender essential oil, and that would help me sleep. I don't love using too much lavender. So this to me is a better alternative, and I find that it works really well. So this is Rocasa Deep Sleep Salve, and I do have a 20% off discount for you if you're a new customer to Rocasa. I will link that on the show notes. But anyway, number 4 is to release your emotions. Allow yourself to feel your emotions, okay? Why emotions? Okay, well, emotions are basically like a wave that passes through you if you allow them to. Emotions are kind of these like invisible things, but they actually are really manifested in our body in a physical way. So if you don't deal with your feelings and your emotions, if you're holding on to things, or if you just kind of, sweep them under the rug, then these emotions get stuck in you. They really do. Kind of like you tied a knot in your garden hose, okay? And then they just build up and they fester and they drain you and they cause emotional issues, and later, eventually, health issues, okay? They come up in ways you don't realize. That's all those, things that trigger us, right? So when you have a strong emotion, allow yourself to feel it, allow yourself to process it. Don't just ignore it. Process that emotion as best you can. And as far as what else you can do, also get into the habit of forgiving people for past hurts. You don't have to call them. You don't have to say it to their face. But if you just say, you know what, my Aunt Margaret, I don't have an Aunt Margaret, but just for the sake of example, Aunt Margaret, I forgive you. I love you. And, all is forgiven. You just say that to yourself. Even just saying that, I don't even have an Aunt Margaret, but just the act of saying that just kind of made me feel calmer. So if you say your forgivenesses out loud, or even just quietly in your heart, by the simple act of forgiving someone else, even if you do it privately, you're able to really heal. And I don't want to say heal those emotions, but you're able to release some of that. You're able to release some of the invisible weight that's on your shoulders, and you free up your body, free up that body. And there are 2 good books that I would read on this. I haven't read one of them, but this is one of those things that you don't really realize until you need to get there, until you need to go through this process. So I think if you can get ahead of it, you will just be so much further ahead of the game as far as your health and wellness goes. So 2 of the books that I recommend are You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay and The Emotion Code by Dr. Bradley Nelson. I have read part of You Can Heal Your Life. I'm the type of person, I will start a book and never finish it. So I read the good part of You Can Heal Your Life. I have not gotten to The Emotion Code yet, but it is supposed to be phenomenal. I think both of these books are a little woo-woo. Okay, so depending on how you feel about that, you may or may not resonate with this content, but the idea is still there. And it goes even as far back as the Bible. I mean, there is so much power in forgiveness and releasing emotions. So definitely think about that. Okay, think about what emotions might be there, what you might not be fully processing, Work with a therapist if you need to. Do what you need to make this a priority. It is so important and so powerful. Okay. Number 5, totally shifting gears here. Okay, from releasing your emotions. Number 5 is to jump rope or bounce on a trampoline, also known as rebounding. So have you ever heard that like biohacking gurus and like wellness gurus like to jump on a trampoline? Well, it's not only fun, it actually apparently causes the lymphatic system, the valves in the lymphatic system to open and close. And that improves your lymphatic flow. And this can help boost immunity. It can help remove and expel toxins and move them through the body the way that they're supposed to. And that is what we're going after here. So if you're looking for a really simple way to support your detox habits, to support your overall wellness habits, get a jump rope or jump on a trampoline. Super, super easy. And fun. And honestly, it's a great thing that you can teach your kids to do too, because like, what child do you know that doesn't like to jump rope or bounce on a trampoline? As I'm saying this out loud, I realize my kids haven't jumped rope in a really long time. And I don't even know that like kids do that anymore these days. So maybe that's a good analog habit for all of us to, introduce to our kids. All right. Number 6 is green juice. So you can never go wrong with green juice, I feel, but truly a little bit of green juice first thing in the morning, I find to be one of the best ways to start the day. Now, I've said a few different things about how to start your day on different episodes, like I love lemon water, I love green juice, I love protein, and I kind of do all of these things. It's more just like in a certain order. So I often start with lemon water and then I'll follow it with green juice. Or I'll just start the morning with some fruit. It kind of really doesn't change anything as far as like my recommendations go. I just want you to know that I do all of these things. But green juice in particular, on an empty stomach, will really, really, really allow the nutrients in the green juice to reach your cells, to nourish your body. And I find it to be a great bowel mover. So green juice first thing in the morning, sometimes we give it to the kids too. It is just so good for everybody. And I highly recommend it. It is a great part of your detox lifestyle. Okay, so those are the last half of our recommendations, or the last portion of our recommendations for your healthy detox lifestyle. The idea here, again, is just to inspire you. It's not to say you have to start doing all of these things. I don't jump rope every day. I don't go on a trampoline every day. I just want to give you ideas and help you find the right lifestyle habits for you. But again, it's really just about inspiring you and letting you know what's out there so that you can make the right choices for yourself. So let's summarize this episode, what we talked about. So first on the list was castor oil packs. I love doing a castor oil pack. At night, you can do it anytime, and they recommend, honestly, just sitting around for about 30 minutes to an hour to let your body absorb the castor oil. I usually do it right before bed. I don't bother with that, but you can do it any time of day. Number 2 on the list was fasting. Fasting can be done in all sorts of different ways. Number 3 is to eat lots of fiber and foods that detox you. I'm not saying you need to go on a plant-based diet or anything like that, but artichokes and grapefruits and cruciferous vegetables, all of those good things. Your fruits and veggies basically are going to help clear you out and just give your body the nutrition that it needs to be able to complete its functions. And then next is to release your emotions and forgive people. And finally, the last 2 is to jump rope or bounce on a trampoline and then drink your daily green juice or your regular green juice. It is such a good way to give your body nutrients and help it clear out anything unwanted. There are other things you can do too. You can do a parasite cleanse and you can do, other kinds of detox efforts. But I think these are really just lifestyle habits that support your healthy detox efforts. And I am totally a fan of everything that I mentioned here. So I hope this inspires you. I hope this helps you come up with something that you can add to your daily routine. As far as your call to action, okay, your action item. I would love to know that you have started one of these habits. I would love to know that, you know what, you picked up the jump rope, or you started doing a daily green juice with you and your kids, or you and your husband. Or maybe you start a forgiveness practice. I would love for you to take one of these tips and start implementing it beginning today. All right, Mama, I will see you in the next episode.